Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Fearless Broadcasting. My name is Pat Wilkinson up in the booth. You are joining me tonight with the Wild West Racing Series TNR Design Truck Series Championship 4 coming to you live from the Brickyard at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Your Championship 4 contenders for tonight are Trey Smith in the number 1, James Napier in the number 77, Keith Ayers in the number 19, and Tanner Ensign in the number 44. We're on board right now in the midst of qualifying, riding on board with Trey Smith in the number 1 Chevrolet. Hoping that it's going to be a fantastic way to end this championship tonight. We hope you all sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And we will see you all at the end of this race. Coming up towards the end of qualifying here, riding on board right now with the number 19 of Keith Ayers, Coors Ford. Finishing up his qualifying run right now, coming down the backstretch, heading into turn 3. Another rookie driver in his first season with the Wild West Racing League, as you can see by the rookie stripes on the rear end of his truck. The yellow stripes just on the bumper there. Coming through turn 4, a little high. Not as close to the apron as you really want around here. Running it all the way up to the wall, racing on down towards the Yard of Bricks through the restart zone. And he maintains third place. Now let's see if Mike Loveless, excuse me. I believe. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Your starting lineup for tonight. Kreishon Elliott is in first in the number 91 Chevrolet. John Sauer in the number 22. Keith Ayers in third in the number 19 Ford. Trey Smith in the number 1 Chevrolet. Scott Rush in fifth. Tanner Ensign in sixth. James Napier in seventh. Tanner Ensign in eighth. Tanner Ensign in 6th, James Napier in 7th, Dakota Henderson 8th, Ethan Farless 9th, Brighton Coleman 10th, Dylan Smith 11th, Mike Presley in 12th, Mike Loveless in 13th. And despite my name being up there, I'm not racing tonight. Of course, as you know, because I'm up here in the booth with all of you. Hello! we'll jump on board with Kreishawn Elliott for the pace laps here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Once again, the 4 trucks to look out for tonight are the number 1 of Trey Smith, the number 77 of James Napier, the number 19 of Keith Ayers, and the number 44 of Tanner Ensign. This is for all the marbles, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a simply fantastic race to watch. I'm super excited to see how it goes. We'll be underway in just a moment. Of course, because I didn't load into the game, and it registers me anyway, excuse me, fumbling over my own words. Because I'm not actually in the race, it's making everybody wait. There we go. Pace car's rolling off. Once again, oh, everybody's kind of doing a shuffle over here. Kreishawn Elliott leading the way as we go behind the pace car, starting the formation lap here. Number 91 of Kreishawn Elliott is your leader. John Sauer in the number 22 is in second place on the outside. Keith Ayers in third in the number 19 Ford. It's Trey Smith in the number 1 Chevrolet. Tanner Ensign and Scott Rush in 5th and 6th. James Napier, Dakota Henderson in 7th and 8th. Brighton Coleman and Ethan Farless at 9th and 10th. Mike Presley, Dylan Smith, and Mike Lovelace bringing up the last 3 positions, 11th through 13th. As we come down the backstretch, surprised nobody's really using the opportunity to warm up their tires more. 22 on the outside there, taking the advantage of that. Before we go green flag racing, '77 of James Napier, the Colts Chevrolet, on the side of your screen. He's also taking the advantage of that. Trying to get these your tires warmed up for 70 laps here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, excuse me. Coming back around through turn 4. Pace car's lights are off. Getting ready to go green flag racing here at the Brickyard for 70 laps. 2.5 miles of track to work with. Whole pack of trucks. And one of the fastest speedways in the world. As we go green flag at Indianapolis, huge start from the number 91 of Kreishawn Elliott, driving all the way down to the inside is... I can't make out who that is at the moment. Excuse me. Number 04 on the inside, running 2x2 through turns 1. Almost. Whoa, big one. Smashes into the wall. Mike, I believe that's Mike Presley. No, it's not. Right, Coleman with an early hit on the wall out of turn 1. Very unfortunate. Hopefully he didn't bring anything up too bad, especially this early in the race. Indianapolis is renowned for being very loose in any form of NASCAR, and hopefully that doesn't affect his speed as well. He's going to need all the help he can get from the slipstream of Mike Presley in front of him. We jump back on board with the number 22 with a comfortable lead now. About 3 or 4 cars ahead of Trey Smith. Unfortunately, we seem to miss some of the action. I apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. I was stumbling around trying to find what happened there. 22 roaring off. He's just gone. It's like he's got an IndyCar engine in that thing, because he is just pulling away from this group behind him. 22 by the 1, by 91 and 19. Dakota Henderson in 5th in the number 5. John Sauer, Trey Smith, Kryshawn Elliott, and Keith Ayers are your top 4. Very slick move from Keith Ayers there. Washing out a little bit there, but manages to keep it going straight. Very lucky save as everybody's forming up single file behind John Sauer in the number 22. Gaining a little bit down the straights where he's losing out on that top speed. And as you can see, a little bit further in the pack, everybody's already pretty loose. We'll jump on board with number 44 of Tanner Ensign. A little bit further back here, we'll see what kind of action's going on in the slipstream as they race down the backstretch, entering turn 3 right now. Chip 44 chasing down the 5 of Dakota Henderson. We're on board with Tanner Ensign, one of your championship 4. Keith Ayers and Trey Smith both in front of him. Keith Ayers in 4th, Trey Smith in 2nd. James Napier is 2 positions behind Tanner Ensign in 8th. Trey Smith and the group behind him are starting to gain a little bit on the number 22 of John Sauer. This is where losing out on the slipstream is going to really hurt him as they charge down the backstretch, heading towards turn 3. 91 getting really close to Trey Smith there. Looks up the inside, doesn't really go for it. About a car and a half, narrowing down to about 1 car, maybe half a car back. Keith Ayers in the number 19 trying to chase them both down too. They're pretty evenly spaced. Dakota Henderson making some big moves, trying to get ahead of Keith Ayers, pushing him all the way down towards the Yard of Bricks as we are. Start of lap 5 here at the Brickyard. This is Fearless Broadcasting, brought to you by SDK Gaming. Pat Wilkinson up in the booth. Top 5 are sticking pretty well together. Tanner Ensign falling back a little bit off of Dakota Henderson, maybe trying to conserve a little bit of tire through the turns. These trucks can get very loose and very quick, as I was hoping some of the Fearless Broadcasting team, such as Ethan Farless and Dylan Smith earlier this week, trying to test some of the setups for these trucks. Not to much avail in my end. These trucks can get very loose very quick, especially here, with how flat the banking is, as the number 19 of Keith Ayers looks up the inside. We got a big contact on the wall further back. Mike Lovelace tapping the wall there, but keeps it going. (22 by the 1, by 91, 19, and 5. Tanner Ensign in the 4th row further back. We are 2 wide for 3rd place. Keith Ayers and Kryshawn Elliott chasing each other down, side by side down the backstretch. Keith Ayers losing out on that overall speed to Dakota Henderson. He falls back to 5th place as we charge down through turn 3. Beautiful move by the number 5 there. Jump back a little further to Tanner Ensign, leading this pack of 4 behind him. The pack of 3 behind him, excuse me. Tanner Ensign and James Napier, both championship contenders. Dylan Smith behind them, Scott Rush with them. Charging down through turn 1. 2 trucks, both looking for their championship. A lot of race left to go here at Indianapolis. They come out of turn 1. 44 of Tanner Ensign getting really loose there for a minute. Fly down the backstretch. 77 getting real close to him, looking up the inside, decides not to go for it as they come through turn 3 into the short chute. Dylan Smith getting real close to the 77 there, looking up the inside once again. Just does not have the momentum. Tanner Ensign roaring off. James Napier must have had a little bit of a slide there through turn 3 because he lost out on a ton of speed, maybe trying to defend from Dylan Smith. Brings back up to your leader, number 22, John Sauer. Lap 8 of 70, this time by completed. Trey Smith looking up the inside into turn 3, bold move. Just does not have the momentum to do it, keeps it low. 22 with a big slide out of turn 3 there, by the looks of it. Trey Smith trying to keep it a little more composed, having been in the same problem. We are too wide behind him. Whoa! Keith Ayers, number 19, taps the wall, keeps it going straight. Very good save from that number 19 truck. Still leading John Sauer by Trey Smith, Christian Elliott, Dakota Henderson, Keith Ayers, Dylan Smith, and James Napier. Your top 7. We jump back to Dylan Smith, who just made the move. On James Napier, charging down the backstretch. 77 and the 44 working with each other a little bit here, trying to catch up to that 48, get by him, and be in contention for the championship race, or be in contention for the championship itself. Excuse me. Bottom of your screen, top 2 in the championship right now. Trey Smith and Keith Ayers leading the way. Dylan Smith holding up a little bit of traffic here with James Napier and Tanner Ensign, trying to keep things moving as he's roaring through turns 1 and 2 with a huge lead. Whoa, we got a battle back here. Tanner Ensign running up the inside of James Napier, excuse me. 44 breezes by on the inside. 77 not really wanting to let that position go as the 04 cuts through the grass. 68 almost following him. 44 with a beautiful pass to the inside off the backstretch into turn 3. 04 trying to chase down that 68, decides to go back in line with that slipstream. Up towards the front of the pack here. Dylan Smith is pulling away from Tanner Ensign and James Napier. Jump back on board. We'll go with Trey Smith now. Number 1 truck of Trey Smith, Coca-Cola Chevrolet. Under pressure from the 91 on the inside. Won by the 91 by the 5 for 2nd through 4th positions. John Sauer still leading the way after 12 laps here at the Brickyard. Trey Smith, as it stands right now, is on his way to win the championship. Of course, there are still plenty of laps here to go at Indianapolis. And absolutely anything can happen. Really getting runs off of these corners. He's just got something in that truck off the corners that nobody else really seems to have, but he really loses out on these straights as they come into turns 3 and 4. Once again, 91 still putting pressure on the one of Trey Smith. Christian Elliott in the 91 really trying to push here. Of course, it is still the championship race tonight. There will be a top 3 podium, but does not mean they won't be interviewed. They don't get bragging rights for winning this race. This is the championship race. All eyes are on everybody in the championship 4. Doesn't mean you don't get to go for it any less than you would normally. 22 pulling away even further once again. One in the 91 really trying to catch back up here as they draft down the backstretch. Dakota Henderson trying to keep up as they roar through turn 3. Really getting bunched up together here. They got to watch out for each other. 5 getting real close to the back bumper of the 91. Coming through turn 4. 5 on the inside of the 91. Goes right across his bumper. Pushing him all the way down the front stretch as they go too wide for third place. Into turn 1, Dakota Henderson going a little bit more throttle into the bottom of that turn, manages to make it stick. He is up to third place. So John Sauer is just pulling away. Maybe he's using more tire early to keep the speed up. Maybe he's trying to use as much tire as he can through these turns to get as far ahead as he can. Hope for no cautions, but in the long run, depending on how many sets of tires they have, that might backfire on him. If he keeps this pressure up for too long, he might overdo it. You never know. We'll jump back down to Mike Loveless, the 68 Toyota, the only Toyota on the field tonight. Number 68, Michael Loveless. Leading Tanner Ensign, James Napier, down 8th and 9th. They seem to just not have the same speed these guys up front have. Maybe they're running the opposite strategy of our friend John Sauer up front. Maybe they're running a very conservative, very macho style race, which is always a good strategy sometimes. But you gotta know when you gotta push. And right now, I'd say we're just about a quarter way, maybe a little bit more through this race. And they really got to start working on getting that speed up. If they want any chance of winning that championship tonight, they gotta go. So come on, gentlemen, let's see what you got. We go too wide off the front. After that, and unfortunately we missed it. James Napier, Scott Rush, and Ethan Farless on your screens now. 77 by the 04 and the 28. Chasing each other down the backstretch. 77 trying to catch up to that 44 of Tanner Ensign. 04 runs way down into the bottom, along with Ethan Farless trying to catch up to that 77. Maybe work a little magic down the front stretch, get a good slipstream going into turn 1. That's 17 of 70 as we have our first hitter. Keith Ayers is in the pits. Jumping back to our leader right now, number 22, John Sauer, Dakota Henderson, Krishon Elliott, and Trey Smith behind him, continuing to fall back off of this 22. Do not seem to have the same power this guy does down the straights, because he is just monstering through the corners. There's a little pack of 3 for second, third, and fourth place as John Sauer and Dakota Henderson both pit this time. Whoa, we got a few more takers. Dylan Smith and Mike Loveless. Ethan Farless and James Napier also go in the pits as well. New leader, or returning leader, excuse me. Krishon Elliott by Trey Smith, by Tanner Ensign, by Scott Rush, Mike Presley, Keith Ayers is down in 13th, and he's the only other car currently on track, as all other cars are in the pits. Jump on board with the 19. Where is he? He is just coming out of turn 4 now. He's really got to put the pedal to the metal to beat some of these guys back out of the pit. As Dakota Henderson, Mike Loveless, John Sauer, Ethan Farless are all ahead of him coming out. Oop. And he blows right by Ethan Farless on the inside. Of course, being Indianapolis. Pit road is all the way through turns 1 and 2 to the backstretch. Comes out right behind number 68 and Mike Loveless. Your top 5 all come into pit. Christian Elliott, Trey Smith, Tanner Ensign, Scott Rush, and Mike Presley all come in this time. They're going to need one heck of a stop to get back out there really quick because they all take tires. Topping off on fuel as well. Trey Smith with a beat out of pit road. Current leader as the 19 and the 68 blow on by. Door to door through turn 1 with Dakota Henderson and John Sauer behind them. Your leader now is Michael Loveless. Keith Ayers under pressure from the number 5 of Dakota Henderson as they get contact behind him. 3 wide into turn 3. 3 wide once again out of turn 3. Going for a diamond formation through turn 4. Race on down the front stretch. What incredible racing that was. Dakota Henderson by John Sauer, by Keith Ayers, by Mike Loveless and Trey Smith are your new top 4. Of course, we're on board with Keith Ayers, right now, and he is the only championship truck in the top 5. Oh, excuse me, Trey Smith is also in 5th. My apologies. 19, though, under pressure from the 68. Not sure if he's just that much slower down the straights or if he's got a problem because he's got some real big wiggles going on coming out of the corners as he hits the wall. He's got a problem of some kind. He is all over the place. He's super slow. Trey Smith sneaking up on the inside coming through turn 3, chasing down the 68 of Mike Loveless as the 19 goes wide off of turn 3 and beats the wall off of turn 4. Keith Ayers potentially with a big problem on lap 21 of 70 here at the Brickyard. Back on board with Dakota Henderson now, your leader currently being chased down by John Sauer. Maybe he's taking lessons from Sauer as they are just monstering away once again, 3.5 seconds plus over 3rd place. And Trey Smith, Mike Loveless, another second behind him. Keith Ayers, another 2 seconds and falling behind Mike Loveless. Jump back to James Napier, running by himself at the moment, chasing down the 19. About 5 or 6 cars back at least. Trying to get that slipstream down the backstretch, entering turn 3. Trey Smith up to 3rd place. He's your new championship leader. 19 and the 77 are the next up, 2nd and 3rd respectively. As we're on board with James Napier now as he breezes on by the 19 with a huge slide from the 19 as well, off of turn 4. Jumping back a little bit farther, go to Mike Presley at the moment. They're running a little pack of 3. Scott Rush, Mike Presley, and Ethan Farless. racing for 8th position currently. Oh, excuse me, 7th position currently. Through 1 and 2. Jump up to Trey Smith now, number 1, currently leading the championship. Comes around turn 4. Seems to be in a world all by himself out there. Trying to chase down the 5 and the 22 of Dakota Henderson and John Sauer as they go through turn 1. And Trey Smith entering turn 1 right now, entering the short chute. Keeping the truck very clean, as next time by will be lap 25, just over a third of the way. Mostly uneventful race out there tonight, which is a little surprising, I must admit. As we jump back to James Napier and Mike Loveless, that was a good decision on my part because they are side by side entering turn 3. 77 breezes by on the bottom of the 68. 68, not sure if he's just going to let that go. He's keeping up with the 77 as they come through turn 4. 68, slowing down a little bit. Huge slide from the 77. 68 trying to keep up. Stay in the slipstream. 19 falling back still. He's got some serious wiggling going on back there. Must have broken or bent the steering or toe link of some kind because he is just losing speed everywhere at the moment. Still leading. Number 5 of Dakota Henderson being chased down by the number 22 of John Sauer. Trey Smith in 3rd, James Napier in 4th, Mike Loveless in 5th, Keith Ayers in 6th, Scott Rush in 7th, Mike Presley in 8th, Ethan Farless in 9th, Kryshawn Elliott in 10th, Dylan Smith in 11th. Tanner Ensign is a lap down in 12th. What happened to you? Tanner Ensign is a lap down on the leaders. He's about to be a lap down on Trey Smith. Huge slide from the 44 as the 1 breezes on by down the backstretch. Very unfortunate night out there for Tanner Ensign as Trey Smith extends his lead over the championship 4. James Napier is just coming onto turn 3 now. Trey Smith is already entering turn 4. He is better part of 2 turns ahead of James Napier, with a little bit of traffic between them in the form of Tanner Ensign. Change screens here for a second. Jump back up, and John Sauer has retaken the lead from Dakota Henderson. By the 5 once again, as the 22 continues to roar off down the backstretch. 5 not letting him go this time, trying to keep up with him. Enters the corner just that little bit earlier, maybe keeping a little bit more speed as they come through turn 3 down the short chute, trying to chase down that 22. Dakota Henderson is the number 5. The creamsicle orange Hendricks Chevrolet, chasing down the 22 college truck. Unfortunately, I cannot make out which college that is, of John Sauer. Lap 29 of 70 this time by as they come down the backstretch. Dakota Henderson with another big burst of speed down the backstretch, less than half a car away from that bumper of John Sauer. Losing out off the exit of turn 3, trying to get it back through turn 4. bit of a slide from Dakota Henderson, but keeps it going straight. They got a little bit of traffic ahead of them in the form of Brighton Coleman, I believe, in the number 40 Ford. Go through turn 1 once again. Dakota Henderson looking up the inside of the number 22. They're both jockeying for the position up at the front. And jump back once again to James Napier, chasing down the 44 of Tanner Ensign, who is better part of a lap down. Trey Smith is further up in the field. He is very far up in the field. He is through turns 3 and 4 right now. A lot of trucks very slow tonight. And no help with the fact of no cautions so far. Trey Smith is crossing the start-finish line now. He's better part of half the front stretch away from both Tanner Ensign and James Napier. Of course, Tanner Ensign being 1 lap down. Do not know what happened to him. Must have had a contact with the wall that was deemed too much for the truck to take. As the 22 and the 5 continue to battle without having passed the 40 of Brighton Coleman, putting Brighton 3 laps down. And for the heck of it, putting Pat Wilkinson down by 30 laps. 31 this time by. John Sauer continues to lead the way, head of Dakota Henderson, Trey Smith, James Napier, Mike Loveless, Scott Rush, Mike Presley, Keith Ayers, Ethan Farless, Kreishawn Elliott, Dylan Smith, Tanner Ensign, and Brighton Coleman. We'll jump back to Ethan Farless, see how he's doing. He's running by himself at the moment. No help from anybody. In the Fearless Broadcasting, number 28 Chevrolet. Sorry, Ethan, had to look that up for a second. He's got some problems too. A little bit of a wobble down the front stretch as he comes through turn 1. Jump up a little bit more to Mike Loveless, and Mike Loveless and Mike Presley. No, that's not Mike Presley. Scott Rush, excuse me. Scott Rush. Mike Presley and Mike Loveless and Scott Rush, excuse me. Jockeying for 5th place at the moment. Number 68, Meals on Wheels, Toyota, the only Toyota out in the field tonight. Feeling a little bit lonely out there all by himself, but hey, he's a teammate. We'll watch him for a little bit. 68 losing out on the 04 as the 04 continues to pull away of Scott Rush. Mike Presley not really making any advancement to try and catch up to him. 68 with some big wiggles through the corner. Maybe having some problems with the rear tires. Knowing Indianapolis, this place shreds tires, especially with how much load they go through these narrow or shallow banked turns, excuse me. Do not know why I'm fumbling so bad with my English tonight. Mike Presley chasing down the 68. Now he's really in the slipstream, trying to keep that truck going as fast as he can. Mike Loveless running a little bit more tape on the nose, as you can see, than most of these other drivers out there. Does not seem to really be helping him as he's going very gingerly through the corners, losing a lot of speed and a lot of time on the trucks in front of him. But he is a bat out of hell on these straights as the 0 of Mike Presley tries sneaking up on him from the inside, switches outside through turn 3 down the short chute, coming into turn 4. Playing nice together for the time being. Chasing each other down the front stretch. right under the wing of the 68 as Zero of Mike Presley makes the pass. They're side by side into turn 1. Mike Presley moves up to 6th place. Mike Lovelace having some problems out there by the looks of it. Jump up to Trey Smith once again, current championship leader. A little bit of a wiggle out of turn 3, keeping it straight. Chasing down the 40 of lap traffic. Slowly starting to catch a little bit more of John Sauer and Dakota Henderson. Jump over to this camera angle for a little bit. Jump up to John Sauer as we speak. 22 truck leading the way, pulling away from Dakota Henderson once again. This truck just roared in the air. He's just got something that nobody else really seemed to have. He was lightning fast in the slipstream as well. He's got some kind of setup on that truck that's just making it work for him, and it's just golden out there tonight. Going through turn 4. As he comes down pit road with Dakota Henderson right on his heels. Trey Smith going on by. Jump on board once again with Trey. Now your current leader. Leader of the championship. Once again, your championship 4. Trey Smith. Trey Smith, James Napier, Tanner Ensign, and Keith Ayers. Keith Ayers is also now 1 lap down. I apologize. I'm not seeing anything coming up in my telemetry saying that there has been an accident of any kind. Ethan Farless, Mike Lovelace, James Napier, Dylan Smith, all into the pits as well. Scott Rush and Mike Presley chasing each other down for 2nd place, pushing the number 44 of Tanner Ensign. Mike Presley coming down pit road. Keith Ayers back on form, seeming to have fixed his truck for the time being. He seriously has some speed in that truck now. Coming through turn 1 this time. Running a lot smoother than we last saw as he grazes the wall just a little bit, and that's okay. Not a huge problem. Scott Rush is your current Scott Rush by John Sauer, Kryshawn Elliott, Dakota Henderson, Trey Smith, Mike Presley still in the pits, James Napier, Mike Lovelace, Tanner Ensign, Keith Ayers, Ethan Farless, Dylan Smith, and Brenton Coleman. Scott Rush, John, and Tanner Ensign both down into pit road this time. Very long and very agonizing pit road, I must say, here at Indianapolis. Very, very agonizing with how slow it is, because you lose so much time on a lot of these guys, especially these faster trucks, such as the like of John Sauer, who is rapidly approaching, coming across the start-finish line now, as Tanner Ensign and Scott Rush both just reached their boxes as he came around. Dakota Henderson trying to chase him down. We are just over halfway now. 38 of 70 this time by. John Sauer is leading the way once again here at the Brickyard. This is Broadcasting. Pat Wilkinson up in the booth. Brought to you by SDK Gaming, iRacing Live Timing. We're back here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Brickyard, with the Wild West Racing League Championship 4 TNR Designs Truck Series race. Sauer leading the way still, and roaring away from Dakota Henderson in the number 5. Trey Smith down in third is your championship leader. James Napier in fourth is right on his heels in second place for the championship. Mike Loveless down in fifth. Mike Presley in sixth. Scott Rush in seventh. Keith Ayers is third for the championship in eighth. Ethan Farless in ninth. Cryshawn Elliott in 10th. Dylan Smith in 11th. And Tanner Enzyme, a lap down in 12th place. He's the last truck in competition for the championship. 40 laps here at Indianapolis Speedway of 70 completed this time by. We want to thank you, the fans, for tuning in every Sunday night, and of course all the fans who unfortunately miss our broadcasts for joining us. Whether watching live or watching the VODs after the fact, we appreciate you and thank you for your support. While the Wild West Truck Series may be over after tonight, that does not mean all of us here at Fearless Broadcasting will be going away anytime soon. We have a lot of projects in the works, and we can't wait to be sharing them all with you. If you or anybody you know run an iRacing league and you wish to have us be a part of that and have your races streamed for all to enjoy, please get in contact with us via Discord or via our official Facebook page, Fearless Broadcasting. "30 laps to go here at the Brickyard. Coming up the last track again, Dylan Smith and Cryshawn Elliott, number 48 and 91 respectively, walking away with number 22 of John Sauer. Dakota Henderson behind him, a little bit of way back, but nonetheless still a threat. Smith giving the draft to the 22 as he breezes on by once again, making it look like it's no effort at all out there. John Sauer is just on fire tonight. He's driving it more than just he stole it. He took the whole dealership out there tonight. That truck is just gone. Nobody can catch that number 22. We'll jump back to our championship leader, Trey Smith, just coming down the backstretch now, all the way up against the fence, coming into turn 3, running a very low setup. You can see that he's really kind of scraping that front wing, or his nose, on the bottom of the racetrack there through his turns, really trying to make the most of the downforce. It's just not really working out for him, though, as he's only down in 3rd position. It's working great for him in terms of the championship, as he's leading the way. Coming through turn 1, into the short chute once again. Staying nice and high, above the white line on the bottom through 2. About a half a car width. Down the backstretch once again. We'll jump inside the truck for just a minute. Get a little bit of ASMR going for all you fans out there. Just listen to the pedal work. You hear the engine thrumming through turns 3 and 4. Long charge down to the Brickyard. Letting off. Not letting all the way off through turns 1. Powering down through the short chute once again. Rushing that throttle through turn 2, keeping momentum up but not lose too much speed. And the trucks in front of him are just going through turn 3 right now. He's going to put half the backstretch away from the top two. Back outside. And jump down to James Napier, who is also not terribly close, but trying to make some magic happen here. Catching up to Trey Smith, in hopes of catching him anyway. 26 laps to go this time by here at the Brickyard. The question is there going to be a Hail Mary caution late in this race that is going to completely flip the entire script on everybody's heads, as we have had a completely green flag race all night. Big slide from the 77. Losing a lot of speed there off of two. Fantastic save from the 77 of James Napier. And jump back to our friend in the Toyota, Mike Lovelace. Number 68 Meals on Wheels truck. Really squirrely down the backstretch there, as you just saw. Very loose on corner exit by the looks of it. 25 laps to go. Try to chase down the 77. Small pack behind them. Scott Rush we're on board with now, the 04. Trying to chase down, I believe that is Tanner Enzyme. And the 44 just ahead of him, yes it is. And the 40 of Brayton Coleman, lap traffic along just behind him. Chasing down the 44 of Tanner Enzyme. Very unfortunate night out there for Tanner Enzyme. Not sure what really happened to him. Him so far back in the field. There's nothing you can really do about it as he's lapped down. James Napier into the pits. Jump back up with John Sauer, who's better part of half a lap ahead of him. This is not going to be a contest at this rate for John Sauer. He is destroying the field at the moment. We jump into... Oh, he's coming into the pits. I was about to go to the interior cam. We'll jump on board with Dakota Henderson then, as he's going to continue on going. Listening to the throttle, keeping it nice and calm through turn one. A lot of understeer you can hear by the tires screeching, letting off once again, letting the front tires bite, keeping it straight, down the backstretch through turn two. Revving this thing as hard as it will go as he enters turn three, letting off just at that number one board, as you saw on the right-hand side of your screen. And real loose through turn three there, you could see as he was trying to countersteer just that little bit. You don't need huge adjustment to keep that truck going straight. You just need enough to keep it from sliding too far out. And that's what a lot of people don't really get the grasp of when you're new to iRacing. You don't need a lot of correction. You don't need always to slam your brakes or jam the throttle all the way open. You got to be ready, and you have to feel what the truck or the car is doing. As you can see, he's holding that wheel pretty straight through the turns as he's got lap traffic rejoining the track just ahead of him. I believe that is the 48 of Dylan Smith. Yes, the 48 of Dylan Smith just ahead of him. Ooh, 48 of Dylan Smith just ahead of him. 22 laps to go. 21 laps to go this time by. Smith is up to second place, still leading your championship. Jump on board with him. He's just coming off of turn 4 now. Dakota Henderson just going through turn 1. as you just saw. No offense to any of our drivers out there tonight, it's been a very dull race in terms of overall excitement, but it has been a very good race to watch for racecraft, for how people drive, for how to drive these tracks, especially a track like Indianapolis, where it's a unique, it is an oval at the end of the day, but it's a unique one. It is a true, genuine quad oval. It's the only real oval on the NASCAR circuit with 4 turns. And yes, I know that's going to potentially make a lot of people unhappy, but unfortunately for you, you know at the end of the day, I'm right. It's the only real track that's got designated turns 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they're very shallow in terms of banking. And that makes it very difficult for these trucks, especially these trucks and how they're set up, to really grip through the corner at speed. Because you need to put as much power down into keeping the speed up for the aerodynamic to work, to hold this truck on the bottom line where all the grip is, as you can see by the darker patch on the racetrack. And if you wash up too far into the marble, as you can also see just on the right hand side of your screen there, big slide out of the number 1 of Trey Smith, you'll be up in the marble and you might spin out or you might ping off the wall. You don't know what's going to happen, and it could be catastrophic when you do, because this track is deceptively narrow on the straights. The corners are nice and wide, but the short chutes and the front and back stretch are just too narrow. And absolutely anything can happen here, with plenty of room to go wrecking. Jump back to Michael Loveless, running pretty much by himself as well. Number 68 Toyota, down in 3rd. Jump back a little further. Mike Presley. We got a little pack back here. Let's look at some of the action. 5 trucks back here. Trey Smith kind of blocking the way for the number 22. Of John Sauer, who's down in 9th place. On board right now with Scott Rush, chasing down the 44 of Tanner Ensign. Sorry, I got confused for a minute. I've got 3 trucks in the 40 series numbers, and it's like, wait a minute, who's who in the zoo? Yes, the 44 of Tanner Ensign he's chasing down right now, running all the way down to the grass. That's another thing you gotta watch out for. There's not a designated, like, apron here. It's just, you got curb and you got grass. And if you clip that grass at 150 some odd mile an hour, you're going around. And these trucks will let you know that very quickly. Dakota Henderson into the pits. Trey Smith is your leader. Championship and race leader now. Mike Loveless also joining him in the pits. Mike Presley staying out. Scott Rush staying out. Excuse me. Top 3 now. Trey Smith, Mike Presley, and Scott Rush. Dakota Henderson and Mike Loveless in the pits in 4th and 5th. Kryshawn Elliott, Ethan Farless in 6th and 7th. Keith Ayers, John Sauer, Tanner Ensign, James Napier, Dylan Smith, and Brighton Coleman are all at least 1 lap down on Trey Smith. Trey Smith entering the pits now. Jump on to Mike Presley. He comes around, and he also jumps into the pits. Scott Rush is your new leader, chasing down the 44, lap traffic ahead of him. He is now the leader of this race with 16 laps to go here at the Brickyard. Working together with Tanner Ensign, trying to make a little bit of magic happen to get as far away from these super fast trucks such as Dakota Henderson and John Sauer. John Sauer might be further back in the pack right now, but that does not count him out at all. He has been arguably the best truck out there tonight. Brighton Coleman has crashed, and we have a caution. First caution of the night, Brighton Coleman. Oh, big one. Seems like it happened a little before that, though, so let's jump back. Oh, boy. There we go. Clips the apron in the grass. Washes up out of 2, slides, and pings off the wall. Just in the middle of turn 2, and just can't get it to turn. Wow! What an incredible save from the 77 not going into the back of him. That was an incredible save. What a move from that 77. I want to jump back and see that from his point of view. So right about here, James Napier will go on his roll bar. Wow! What an incredible escape. Brighton Coleman jumping out of the truck and into the pits. And with, I believe, just under 15 laps to go, this could really fling the door wide open here as everybody starts catching back up. Scott Rush, Dakota Henderson, Kreishawn Elliott, Trey Smith, Mike Loveless, Mike Presley, Keith Ayers, John Sauer, Tanner Ensign, James Napier, Ethan Farless, Dylan Smith, and Brighton Coleman getting towed back to the pits. Now the question is, who's coming in for pit? Scott Rush coming down, Dakota Henderson. I believe that's Trey Smith and Dylan Smith. Or, no, that's not. Keith Ayers going down. John Sauer going down. That's Dakota Henderson. It's Kreishawn Elliott, excuse me. Number 91, also in pit road. Trey Smith by Mike Loveless and Mike Presley are your top 3. Ethan Farless going to get the wave around. First caution of the night here at the Brickyard from Brighton Coleman. Unfortunately, a very poor night for him out there with the early ping pong off the wall. On the first lap, I believe, if memory serves me. Managed to keep it going, just could not get it to work out for him. And now he's being towed back to the pits. Trey Smith is your leader. Mike Loveless in second. Mike Presley in third. John Sauer in fourth. Scott Rush in fifth. Dakota Henderson in sixth. Kreishawn Elliott in seventh. Tanner Ensign back on the lead lap in eighth. Keith Ayers in ninth. James Napier in 10th. Ethan Farless with the wave around will be in 11th place. Dylan Smith in 12th. Brighton Coleman is in the pits. And I, Pat Wilkinson, are going to be better part of 60 laps down because I didn't start. Ethan Farless getting the wave around as you just saw. Everybody forming up in line behind each other, waiting to see what Trey Smith is going to do for the restart. believe we will be 1 to go this time. Pace car lights are off. He chooses the inside line for the restart. Under threat of the 22, excuse me, in 4th position. John Sauer being the fastest truck out there tonight. Tanner Ensign in the 44, down in 8th. Trey Smith leading the championship. Tanner Ensign, James Napier, and Keith Ayers are all down in 8th, 9th, and 11th place. 4 trucks, very good throughout the season, not having a great night tonight here at the Brickyard. Very difficult track for a lot of drivers, and all we can do now is see how it finishes. Once again, pace car's lights are off. 12 laps to go on the green flag. Trey Smith on the inside, Mike Loveless on the outside on this restart. A lot of fast, competitive trucks. Now that they know the track's worked in a little bit more, working the tires in a little bit. Pace car getting ready to pull off here at the end of turn 4, right at the edge of that pit wall. Mike Loveless giving a good push to the 1. Pace car is off, rolling up towards the restart zone. Green flag once again here at Indianapolis. Huge start, equally huge starts from both the 1 and the 68. 22 and the 17 getting an equal push from the 5. Bit of a slow start for everybody behind them, the 04 and the 16, and we have contact. Couple trucks through the grass, keeping it straight. Incredible job as the 1 and the 68 are door-to-door through turn 2. Everybody managing to keep it straight through the short chute. That was an incredible piece of driving. Maybe we'll go back and see a little bit of that action after this. 68 of Mike Loveless taking the lead away. Your new leader for tonight is the 68 of Mike Loveless in the only Toyota out there on the field. Being chased down by Trey Smith. Keith Ayers is up to 3rd, chasing down that championship. Tanner Ensign is just behind Mike Presley, also going for it. This is now a 3-way battle for the championship. Mike Loveless holding on to P1 for the moment. Trey Smith and Keith Ayers in P2 and 3 chasing him down. Trey and Keith, the 1 and the 19 respectively, trying to chase down the 68 for the extra bragging rights of winning the final race of the season and the championship. 19 getting real close to that 1, working a little bit higher on the racetrack. Better exit off of turn 3. 44 of Tanner Ensign has made his move past Mike Presley, trying to get up with our top 3 here as they race down the front stretch. 10 laps to go this time. Mike Loveless with a huge slow up into turn 1. Very big slide off of there too, running really high through the corners. Not really sure if he's got a little bit of a problem, but he's entering the corners very wide for my opinion as we come down the backstretch, pulling away from Tanner Ensign in 4th place. Trey Smith, Keith Ayers, Tanner Ensign are racing 2nd through 4th for the championship. James Napier in the 77 down in 8th. It's going to be a bit of a miracle if he can get that speed up and get by a lot of these other guys. See if he can throw his hat into the championship for tonight. Trey Smith going down to the bottom. Contesting Mike Loveless. for the lead once again. 19 right on his heels of Keith Ayers. 68 by the 1 by the 19 on your screen now. Chasing each other down the backstretch. One making the move down the inside. Side by side down the backstretch. Coming up to turn 3. Trey committing to the bottom. Holds it and breezes on by. Mike Loveless has to give the position. Very close there. Bit of a slide from the 68. Running a little bit high through turn 4 as the 19 of Keith Ayers is right on his bumper too. Maybe a little bit of contact. Chasing them down the front stretch as we cross the yard of bricks. 7 laps to go. 8 laps to go. Okay, that was weird. 8 laps to go. 19 on the bottom of Mike Loveless. He's up to second. We have one heck of a race here now, folks. Trey Smith by Keith Ayers. Mike Loveless in 3rd. Dakota Henderson in 4th. Kreishon Elliott in 5th. Tanner Ensign making some moves, getting back up to 6th place. Mike Presley in 7th. James Napier in 8th. John Sauer in 9th. Ethan Farless in 10th. Scott Rush in 11th. Dylan Smith in 12th. And Brighton Coleman is out of the race. Seven to go this time by. As the 19 hits the wall of the turn 4 once again. Another big contact with the wall for the 19 of Keith Ayers. And he's lost a lot of speed there, getting a push from the 68. Another huge slide from the 19. Don't know how bad that might have damaged him. He seems to be going pretty okay for what it's worth. Very slick off the corner exit though. He's got to watch out for that as 68 using a push. Choosing to evade it, goes down to the bottom of the racetrack. Cutting all the way down to the grass through turn 3. Running all the way down once again through turn 4, sliding up on the exit. Manages to keep it off the wall this time. Chasing down the 1 of Trey Smith once again, getting a push of a lifetime from the 68. 6 laps to go. 19 contesting the 1 into turn 1. They're all right together now. This is where it's going to happen. 1 of Trey Smith under pressure from the 19 of Keith Ayers. 68 of Mike Loveless behind them. Tanner Ensign in 6th. James Napier in 7th. Despite that heavy contact with the wall, that 19 does not seem to be slowing down. He's got just as much speed as Trey Smith out here. He's actually got a little bit better through the corners than Trey Smith by the looks of it. But he's getting one heck of a push, and Trey Smith running all the way down to the bottom, trying to break that slipstream. Down the front stretch. 19 chasing him down to the inside. Through turns 1 and 2 once again, and the short chute. 68 still trying to push that 19 up to contest the 1 of Trey Smith. Maybe the damage to the number 19 is affecting his top speed because he's just not really gaining down the backstretch. He is just monstering through these corners though. Another big slide from the 19. 68 still right on his bumper trying to push him. 68 on the inside of the 19. Whoa, big slide from the 19. He almost goes around but keeps it going straight. Dakota Henderson and Kreishon Elliott both behind him as we have a caution. I do not understand why we have a caution. Perhaps it was for the 19, in case he spun out. It does not say my telemetry, which is fine. And so we're down to 2 cautions. It'll most likely be a green-white checker for the win in the T&R Designs Truck Series Championship 4 race. Dylan Smith getting the lucky dog, or at least the wave around. Now this is going to be mind games for Trey Smith, because he knows if he lines up on the inside with Keith Ayers, he's got to work with and battle currently the closest rival to him for the championship. If he lets Mike Loveless get the push from the 19, Mike Loveless might just drag that 19 to the win as Mike Loveless goes down the pit road. Mike Loveless, Tanner Ensign, Ethan Farless, John Sauer, and Mike Presley are all down in the pits. So now we're going to have side-by-side action. Trey Smith and Keith Ayers for the green-white checker finish here at the Brickyard. Dylan Smith gets his wave around. Three laps to go here at the Brickyard. This is Fearless Broadcasting, brought to you by SDK Gaming. I'm Pat Wilkinson up in the booth. Quarter after 10 local time. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you all for watching our broadcasts over the season. We hope that you've been enjoying it as much as we have. It was a great pleasure to race with these guys all the way up through Auto Club, the last race of the regular season, and unfortunately for me, missing out on just 1 point. If I had won that race at Auto Club, I would have been in the championship. I probably would have lost in the first round because I'm absolutely terrible at short tracks. If it's under 1.5 miles, I am probably bad at it. Places like Vegas are a little bit more open. Auto Club was a little sketch, but we made it work. Daytona, Talladega, never really raced at Atlanta. But hey. It's been a fantastic season. Hope to be back at some point once again with the Wild West Racing League broadcasts. These guys are great to watch. They're even more fun to race with. As we come up to the ultimate decision. Trey Smith leading the way. Does he give the 19 the inside on this restart? No, he doesn't. He takes the help from the 5 of Dakota Henderson, one of the fastest trucks out here tonight, leaving the 19 with the 91 of Kreishawn Elliott. Trey Smith by Keith Ayers, by Kreishawn Elliott, by Dakota Henderson. Scott Rush, James Napier, Mike Loveless, Mike Presley, Ethan Farless, Tanner Ensign, John Sauer, and Dylan Smith. Bryton Coleman is unfortunately out of the race. It will be a green-white checker once we go green. This is going to be one heck of a finish for this season for the T&R Designs Wild West Racing League Truck Series. Pace car's lights are off. Coming through turn 3. Clearing a little bit of dirt off the bottom of turn 3 there. Didn't really see what happened down there. Maybe someone clipped the grass just a little bit. John Sauer, Dylan Smith catching up to the rear of the field. Dylan Smith is still not yet on my screen. He is that far back. He is still gaining. He is 10 seconds in closing, according to the timesheet. He's going to have one heck of a run on this restart, because pace car is off. Trey Smith and Keith Ayers. As we go, green flag once again here at the Brickyard. 19 with a huge start, but a big wash from both as Dakota Henderson goes around, and we're under caution once again, and Trey Smith gets knocked. 91 spins the one. 19 narrowly misses it. The caution comes out immediately after. We're going to have to go at it again. Keith Ayers managed to get that thing through the wreck after a monster pileup on the restart. Let's jump back and take a look. Go up to a higher camera here. We'll jump back. All right, so pause there. Go to here. All right, we'll go there. Everything kind of starts when the 77 bumps the 5. Everybody kind of checked up. 19 spun his tires, probably got a little help from the 91. 5 and the 77 hit the hell out of each other. 91 doesn't slow down, bumps into the 1, sends him and Keith Ayers into the wall, simultaneously taking out the 04 Scott Rush, who gets pile driven by the 0 of Mike Presley. 19, maybe with a little bit of side damage, is the only truck that really got through pretty clean. Scott Rush and James Napier both managed to make it back to the pits. Hopefully they still have a fast repair and they can get back in this race. Tanner Ensign is now your Truck Series champion leader. As everybody comes down pit road, Trey Smith is going to be the next one in. Tanner Ensign, the truck that was a lap down for the championship most of the night, is now leading the race. Talk about commentator's curse. Somebody's fender's doing a breakdance down a pit road. That was interesting to watch. John Sauer, Mike Loveless, and Ethan Farless will follow Tanner Ensign back around turn 1. Keith Ayers down in 5th. Crushin' Elliott, Trey Smith, Mike Presley, Dylan Smith, Dakota Henderson, Scott Rush, and James Napier are the trucks that are coming out of pit road now. This is where things get interesting. Tanner Ensign, having been pretty, unfortunately for him, no other way to put it, slow all night, is now potentially in arguably one of the worst places he could be. It's the best place for him for the championship. But he has not seen the front of this field for the majority of the night. And it is now his choice on this restart. The second green-white checkered here at Indianapolis. The 22 of John Sauer has decided to go for it with a heck of a lot of right front damage. As you can see, he's running basically an IndyCar setup with how far in that front right fender is caved in. As you can see just towards the middle of your screens now, the crimson and blue truck. Trey Smith, or Tanner Ensign, excuse me. Sorry, Tanner. Trey's been up front all night. It's hard to get out of that habit. Tanner Ensign and Mike Loveless are first and second. John Sauer in third. Ethan Farless in fourth. Keith Ayers in fifth. Krishon Elliott in sixth. Trey Smith in seventh. Dakota Henderson in eighth. Mike Presley in ninth. Dylan Smith in 10th. Scott Rush and James Napier are still in the pits. It is a three-way battle for the championship now. Tanner Ensign, Keith Ayers, and Trey Smith. There's a good bit of space between Tanner, Keith, and Trey. Keith and Trey have each other to work with for 2 laps. Tanner, with the help of John Sauer, depending on how fast that truck is with that damage, is pretty much by himself. He is going to need the restart of a lifetime to make this work. Mike Loveless on his outside, being chased down by teammate Ethan Farless. Krishon Elliott and Dakota Henderson on the outside as well, in 6th and 8th positions. One last check of the tires, trying to get a little bit of extra heat into them. A few more cars are starting to catch back up. Mike Presley and Dylan Smith as the pace car pulls off. Let's see if we can finish it this time. Rolling on up to the restart zone. Green flags out once again here in Indianapolis. Big squirrely moment from the 22 there on that restart. Not getting the start that he wanted. Tanner Ensign getting a huge push as he's being chased side by side by Mike Loveless as we have trouble once again. 4 wide at Indianapolis. Still on board with the 44 and the 68. 19 behind. Still 3 wide behind them. 44 by the 1. 44 by the 19 and the 1. Your top 3 for the championship are all racing here. Mike Loveless leading the way through turn 3 and 4, giving a little bit of help to the 19 as 19 smacks into the wall. 44 and the 1. Tanner Ensign and Trey Smith as Trey Smith goes wide. Keith Ayers up the inside. Tanner Ensign down on the bottom. Or Tanner Ensign chasing down the 68. Shoving the 68, white flag this time. Last lap, coming back no matter what. As the 98 gets spun by the 19. Keeps it going straight. Another incredible save out there tonight. 44 and the 1. This is for your championship. Mike Loveless roaring away with it. Trey Smith seeking that inside. Pulls up behind the 44, Tanner Ensign. Looking up the inside, and he dumps the 44! Trey Smith leading the way, under pressure from Keith Ayers. Keith Ayers on the outside. Door to door through turn 4. Keith Ayers sliding all the way up to the wall, and dumps the 1! Trey Smith trying to go backwards across the line. Trey Smith is your Truck Series winner. Oh my goodness. As he just makes it to the line now. Trey Smith finishes the race backwards. But your winner for tonight's race at Indianapolis is Mike Loveless. Essentially the only truck left. Dylan Smith and Krishon Elliott are your top 3. Trey Smith, down in 6th place, takes the championship race. 2nd place in the championship is Keith Ayers. Third is Tanner Ensign. And fourth is James Napier. What an incredible way to end this championship. Another big win here from Mike Loveless. Getting a little bit of a team burnout with Dylan Smith. Kreishon Elliott pulling up behind with him. As they are your top three here at the Brickyard tonight. Let's take a gander, jump over to James Napier, the unfortunate last place finisher in the championship.
Merry off-season and a happy Christmas.
James Napier, this is Pat Wilkinson up at the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Very unfortunate night for you out there. Sorry that's how it had to end. What do you think happened?
The leaders, I don't know what they were doing. They caused a checkup on the inside and caused Dakota to get in the tray, and I got into Dakota. Yeah.
Well, we
It is, I
appreciate... Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Well, it was a great race to watch regardless. Heck of a job all season. Congratulations on making it to the top 4 regardless. That was a hell of a race, and we hope to see you again next time. How's that sound?
It sounds pretty good. It's not I did win I'm pretty sure I won the Rookie of the Year, so it's not all loss, but I know if I would have dumped the leader for the win, to win the championship like that, I know they would have been coming for my head, but I guess it's okay for certain people to do that.
We'll leave that up to the review board to take a look, but thanks for an incredible season. You've been an incredible competitor, and hopefully next time, hopefully I'm up there with you guys racing for the championship. How's that sound?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
That was your 4th place championship finisher. Let's get... Who's next? That would be Tanner Ensign, if he is here. Tanner Ensign. Tanner Ensign, this is Pat Wilkinson up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Pat. How you doing tonight?
Very unfortunate way that had to end. What do you think happened from your point of view?
Well, my truck was just terrible all night long. I lacked speed everywhere but on the short run, and when those cautions happened, I knew that was our chance. I didn't mind letting Loveless go by, but I knew that the 19 and the 1 were coming. In hindsight, I should have just probably let both of them go since they decided to wreck each other, and I could have made it around. But I mean, I was just trying to block Trey, and we're both at fault for that one. I went off his nose, but very unfortunate turn of events there to end out the season.
Well, it was a great race to watch regardless. Thanks for one heck of a season. Hopefully next year, or whenever next season starts, we'll be able to get some more of that action, hopefully with me in it next time.
Yeah, I wish you were out on the track with us too, buddy. Before I go, I just want to thank Wild Outlaw Custom Diecast, Stanford Whip Foundation, Beat to Fit Paint to Match Fabrication, Redline Radio, and everybody who makes this possible, everybody at Enzyme Motorsports, everybody at Fearless Broadcasting, and the best broadcasters that we could ask for, Pat and Ethan, and we'll rack it up and try to come back from it, I guess.
We appreciate that. Thank you. And hopefully we see more of you again sometime. How's that sound?
Yeah, sounds good, buddy.
All right, you take it easy.
Yep, you too.
That was your 3rd place finisher in the championship. I do not, unfortunately, see Keith Ayers, who finished 2nd, unfortunately. So let's jump to our podium finishers. We'll go to Kreishon Elliott first in 3rd. Kreishon Elliott, this is Pat Wilkinson up at the booth. Do you got me?
I do got you.
Heck of a race and one wild finish to the Truck Series. What do you think happened from your point of view? And it's amazing that you really got up to 3rd. especially after all that happened earlier on in the race that caused you to have so much damage.
Yeah, I had to fight back from a speeding penalty during the first round of pit stops, but I kept saving tire, hoping I had enough at the end. But yeah, me and the 19 connected. Felt like I had a race-winning truck, but it just wasn't in the cards today. But fun race.
Well, we appreciate it up here at the booth. Do you have anything you'd like to say before we sign off for the Truck Series this season?
Well, I would like to thank Trey because with his support, he helped me get in this league. He won the championship, so congrats to him. And I can't wait to see what next year brings.
All right, well, you take it easy. We hope to see more of you soon.
Sounds good. Appreciate you broadcasting like always.
Always a pleasure. Thank you. We'll go up to our second place finisher now, Dylan Smith. Dylan Smith, this is Pat Wilkinson up at the booth. You got me.
Hey Pat, how you doing, man?
Dylan, heck of a race and one wild finish. What do you think happened there at the end that brought you all the way up to second place?
Man, I have no idea. I was struggling with my truck the whole race. I got a penalty the first pit, a little bit of damage. I think I finished with about 2 minutes of damage on the truck, and everybody was wrecking at the end. I don't know. It just, everything cleared up, and I tried to just get through it, and I was so excited to even come away with P2. I mean, it's the last race, so that's the best finish I've had all year.
Well, congratulations on a P2 finish and giving a little bit of help to our fellow teammate Mike Loveless over there, the number 68 Toyota. Hopefully next season we'll be able to see more of you up here on the podium, and we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, and congratulations to, I think, Trey, who won the championship.
Trey Smith won. We're going to interview him after Mike and Keith.
Yep, congratulations to Michael and Trey and everybody. It was a great race. I mean, the green flag run was awesome.
All right. Thank you for your time. Hope to see more of you soon.
All right, thank you, Pat. Have a good night.
You too. Jump over to Mike Loveless, your race winner now. We do have Keith Ayers in the waiting room now, so we'll go to him next. Mike Loveless, this is Pat Wilkinson up in the booth. You got me.
Yeah, got you loud and clear, Pat.
Another fantastic win in the Truck Series this season and another big super speedway. Sure, the ending was a little bit wild, but what do you think your secret was to having such a fast truck out there tonight?
Well, I got lucky. I had a great setup. Everything was working out. Took a bold strategy play right at the beginning of the race. And got a little worried about it there, and then it turned out to play out right into my hands, and it was a great race for everybody. I was proud for the championship. I know Tanner was in there, but I was going to make him earn every inch of it.
And you most certainly did, as you ran him all over the racetrack. We'll have to go and see a little bit more of that after the fact. I don't think you raced him, all the way too hard, but you definitely made him work for it, and that was some great green flag running.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, did a lot of saving, worked with the team. It was great all around. Proud of the Fearless guys, the Water Wheel Foundation for the truck, and Meals on Wheels. Awesome night.
Do you have anything you'd like to say before we sign off?
No, I just appreciate the guys. I appreciate racing with the league. I know it was a little sketchy there at the end, but I was happy for all the green flag racing that we got in there tonight, and for all the guys and their respectable racing with me.
Well, we appreciate your time. Once again, congratulations on your second win this season, and hopefully next season we'll be able to see more of you up front. How's that sound?
Sounds like a plan.
All right, well, you take it easy, and congratulations.
Thank you.
That was your first place race finisher, Mike Loveless. We are now going to Keith Ayers, the runner-up in the championship.
Corner pound, I've been okay.
Keith Ayers, this is Pat Wilkinson up in the booth. How do you got me?
Read you loud and clear.
Very frustrating end of the race there, of course. What do you think happened from your point of view?
It was just chaos in front of me, coming to turn 3 the final lap. The two of my Final Four protagonists, Tanner and Trey, got together. Tanner spun down to the bottom, and then Trey lost momentum. And then I tried to go on the outside of Trey on turn 4. I pushed up, he pushed up too. And then I about knocked the wall down, then came down and got him in the right rear corner panel, and the rest is history.
Very unfortunate that you slid up so far. Indianapolis being a very slick racetrack on the higher line, that does unfortunately happen in a lot of different series. And just sucks that it had to be you out there tonight.
Yeah, I felt like I had a real good shot at the championship, but I've got nothing to hang my head about. 3 wins on the season, second in points, missing a race. I can't complain too much, I suppose.
No, you can't. You've had one of the fastest trucks out there all season. You've been in I'm pretty sure, the top 10 for the majority of the season as well. So that is
all but a couple races. I think I've finished outside the top 10, I think, like twice.
So, hey, nothing to shake a stick at all. That is some fantastic racecraft. And is there anything you'd like to say before we sign off tonight?
Just congratulations to the other 3, and congratulations to Trey in the championship. And we'll be back next season. We'll go try it again, try to go get the championship next season.
Well, best of luck to you. We hope to see more of that, and hopefully next time I'll be out there to race with you guys. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me. Thanks.
Take it easy, Keith. Good. Congratulations regardless.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's been a hell of a season.
That was your second place championship finisher, Keith Ayers, on the number 19 Coors Ford F-150. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for, Trey Smith, your points championship leader. Trey Smith.
Take all the bullshit from everybody else.
I keep forgetting that's your Discord call join. Trey Smith, what is there really to say apart from how the hell did you manage to win the championship rolling backwards across the yard of bricks here at Indianapolis?
Toe Mater and Ricky Bobby, that's how. Oh, yeah, I'm not even proud of that, man. I did not expect Tanner to come down when I was pulling up next to him. I had to run. I was ready for us to be side by side going into 3, and he just came a little bit lower. I wasn't giving him no more, and ended up getting him. And then Keith came out, drove it into 3 really hard, was on me, and got to the outside of me and drove it into 4. And I was trying to use him up just a little bit, but enough to keep him off the wall. And I just got a lot tighter than what I anticipated, and ended up making him hit the wall, and then he plowed right into me. I hit that thing nose first, and I just said, screw it, we're gonna drive it backwards, and whatever happens happens. I threw it in reverse and went and kept it to the floor.
I'm honestly amazed you didn't blow your engine doing that, but regardless, congratulations on a hell of a season, and congratulations on, of course, the championship title here at Indianapolis. Do you have anything you'd like to say before we sign off for tonight?
I'll try to make it quick. Most importantly, that's not how I race. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows I race hard, but I race as clean as possible. That's not me. So no matter, this is amazing. Will gladly call myself a champion, but I'm not proud of the way I won that. So that's completely on me. But it definitely feels great to do it at my home track. That's for sure. But most importantly, I gotta thank G Lightning Motorsports, Joe, Krishan, Kaiser, Alex, Eddie, Brady, Robbo, just everybody there for their love and support and keeping me motivated. Tanner for putting on this badass league with a bunch of great guys and great racing. This is the most fun I've had on iRacing in the 3 years I've been doing it. Shout out to him and YO Outlaw Custom Diecast, Fearless Broadcasting, you and Ethan for doing this. It's awesome to get it. Race Car Bodies by Daily, Celsius, Real Tree, Coca-Cola, GB22 Designs, I know I miss a lot of people. I want to give a special shout out to Yemi and my buddy Jared and my brother Braden for watching tonight's race and cheering me on. I kind of pitched into the stream to seeing them comment and cheering for me, so that gave me a little bit of extra motivation. I want to thank the good Lord above for always blessing me with amazing people every single day in my life. My amazing girlfriend who lets me do this as much as I do, when my best friend in the whole world, my sidekick, is my son. This one's for him. I'm sorry, I'm being emotional, man.
No, don't be sorry about it. It's perfectly good. Don't worry about it. Congratulations on one hell of a season. You have been one of the most consistent trucks out there, and it paid off tonight. And it takes a real man to admit that, yeah, what happened, but that's not the way I wanted it to. That is the bravest thing someone can do. So I will congratulate you not only on a championship tonight, but on owning that is not how racing's meant to be done. Because that is one of the biggest things people don't always realize. We are not always enemies on track. It takes real gentlemen to race these cars as hard as we do. So congratulations to you, and congratulations on owning that. That's the hardest step right there. Enjoy your championship.
I appreciate it, brother. I got one more thing to say.
Go right ahead.
This is not me, but like my driver intro said, this one's for all the fans that rooted for me and put up with all the bullshit from everyone else. Excuse my French. And yeah, we're on a party, but it's not the way I wanted to. But we're gonna have a good time. I appreciate you, Pat.
We appreciate you guys too. It's been a hell of a season. We love the fact that we get to work with you guys so much, and it's always a good time to watch you guys race. It's just a fantastic league to race with, and we hope to see much more of you guys in the upcoming series, whatever they are.
Appreciate it, brother.
You go enjoy your win. Go take it easy. Go take a couple deep breaths and enjoy your night. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the Wild West Racing League TNR Designs Truck Series here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the fabled Brickyard. After after the last 10 chaos-filled laps, your champion is Trey Smith. Your top three are Mike Lovelace, Dylan Smith, and Kreishawn Elliott. Thank you for tuning in with not only me and Ethan, but of course our good friend Barry, who has sadly not been joining us in the booth as of late. Barry, if you're watching out there tonight, we hope that you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed having you, and we hope to see more of you soon. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, goodbye, farewell, and amen.